Moved out to California. Got lost in money, drugs, and women. Out for all your dollars. Now Nico's.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. Welcome back. Let's talk about the PlayStation 4 Pro versus the Xbox Scorpio. Before we really get into it, you know what? I don't even feel like digging deep into this because this is sort of silly right now. For the simple fact that one of these consoles will be with us in less than a month, and the other is going to be with us in a year. And I think it's so petty to see the masses rush into a comparison for something that is actually tangible right now versus something that we won't see for a whole year. And this is just how people work. Everyone wants to compare something, but I don't think this is true comparison. So way back when I did a video on the Neo, when the PlayStation 4 was still called or codenamed the Neo, my questions were never really got a sense as to where this thing stood in terms of the power and the feature set, and that's what console gaming is all about in today's world. The next generation, the 7th gen systems, consoles are all about power, when in actuality it's all about the lack thereof power. And if you don't think that's true, then explain these mid-console cycle iterations. But I digress. So what we have here is the PlayStation 4 Pro, I think, in layman's terms, really turns into a PlayStation 4.5. And I respect that. I mean, you know, like I said in my PlayStation 4 Pro video, Sony is just doing what they were supposed to do with this guy. It's just a slightly more refined, more powerful version of the PlayStation 4. And I see nothing wrong with that. Mainly because, mainly because the PlayStation 4 is a proven concept. It's a proven winning formula. They've sold however much million of these things. And it is widely regarded as the console leader right now. So for you to iterate on that to just give it a little more oomph, I think is just a natural evolution of that product. So again, I really like what the PlayStation 4 Pro stands for, even though I think it has some downfalls. And I won't get into that in detail here. Check out the video I did on what the PlayStation 4 Pro is all about. Now, when you're talking the Xbox Scorpio, you got to really understand where something like that's coming from. It's a white flag. Microsoft has already admitted that they've been defeated in the areas that seemingly matter to the masses, right? We're talking power, frame rate, yada, yada, yada. And Microsoft just said, okay, you know, you guys, you're beating us up and saying that the Xbox One is not powerful enough. Then we'll fix that. And they went back to the drawing board and they pretty much arrived at this monstrosity called the Scorpio. In the videos where it was revealed, this thing looked like literally a graphics card welded onto a motherboard. And you know, they're talking some serious power. I believe the specs was like six something teraflops. And I'm not a big PC gaming nerd to sit here and explain teraflops to you. Teraflops is pretty much a number that's used to measure how capable a GPU is, how much processes it can actually handle. So the original consoles were like, I don't know, like one something teraflop. The PlayStation 4 was obviously more powerful than the Xbox One. The PlayStation 4 Pro comes in at like, where is it? Like 4 teraflops or some crazy thing like that. Meaning it's almost twice as powerful as the original PlayStation, definitely the Xbox One. And the Xbox Scorpio is coming in at 6 and change. So that the Scorpio is obviously more powerful than the PlayStation 4. So we come to this interesting ground where because Sony's first out the gate, they sort of have the weaker of the mid-cycle refreshes. And I often wonder if you know, there's nothing really to stop Sony from having something similar to what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft's not doing anything genius, right? I mean, they're just like, oh, okay, and they're throwing money at it, they're throwing resources at it. I feel as if Sony just didn't have the resources and money to throw at something like the Scorpio to arrive at that spec this late in the game. And interestingly enough, they didn't have to. They were winning by a landslide. So, you know, I think it's just, the comparison here is just a tale of who's got the most money. But in all actuality, I think that the comparison between these two needs to go back to the foundation of what it's all about, and that's gaming. If you're a Sony guy and you like The Last of Us, you like Uncharted, even though they're saying there won't be another Uncharted, I don't believe them. You like a lot of those games, and that's where you should be. If you're a Forza guy, a Halo guy, God of War, then you know where you should be. And I hate to have these silly comparisons, because I thought it was silly when EA released the numbers that Battlefield runs at 1080p on a PlayStation and it runs at 980p upscaled on the Xbox. I thought that was silly. People thought it, oh, see, I told you the Xbox is more powerful. Like, okay, and then we're gonna get into this conversation again in a little bit when the Scorpion's release, where you're gonna see better frame rate targets on the Xbox Scorpio versus the PlayStation, and it still doesn't matter. So I guess I do all of this to walk you guys through my thought process that there really is no comparison, especially when one's on the market right now and one isn't. You can't compare it to a fairy. Microsoft hasn't delivered the Scorpios yet, so just stop the madness. You know, I continue to stress to gamers, if you want to be a gamer, if you want to have the perspective of things, you need to get your hands on everything. You need to really appreciate things. I can tell you, I think the PlayStation is a joke, because every time I turn it on, the UI is garbage. It's always updated and stuff, yada, yada, yada. The games aren't for me. That's my perspective. But you know how I developed that perspective? I actually own a PlayStation to get on it to see that this is not what I like. And I'm not saying this is all bad. There's a lot about the PlayStation 4 that's dope, but again, I need to own it to understand it's dope. So between now, when you get your PlayStation 4 Pro, and next year, you should be able to get some money up to get that Scorpio and just enjoy gaming as a whole. Cut the fanboy shit. My name is Ramon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe, plenty more coming. I'm out of here. Peace.
From the deep forest into the sun.